Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. My name is Countess, and this is Protecting Your Business, Part 4 in a series. Today, we'll be talking about legal issues and marketing tactics. As I said, this is number 4 in a series of online events. The idea of these events is to help businesses deal with this current environment that we're all in. Seems to change every day, doesn't it? Sometimes we get some news that is encouraging and sometimes not, but we're all in this in a situation that we never thought we'd find ourselves in just a few weeks ago, much less a few months ago. So we're doing this to help bring the business community together. This is a live event for those of you that have joined us on the webinar. Looks like the room is still filling up. Awesome, great to have you. I hope you'll use this as an opportunity to not only learn, but to ask questions and contribute. You know, what is it you know that people should know too, so that we can all benefit? I'll be watching the Q&A and I'll be watching the chat box too. I will be running some polls. In fact, why don't we run one right now? Let's see if we can do this. And this one will, just to make sure you're all paying attention. This is, have you ever attended one of my workshops or webinars before? That should be showing up on your screen right now. Go ahead and answer that if you would, and let us know you're here with us. Okay, this event is presented by two of us, as the last few have been. My name is Countess. I'm Managing Director of the Countess Group. Sue Joseph is here, and Susan is with Legal Shield. And we are teaming up. Susan will turn her camera on a little bit later on, but there you can see a still shot of her. Susan and I have known each other for quite some time. And when I reached out to folks saying, gee, you know, do you have anything that you would like to contribute that will help fellow business owners? Susan immediately raised her hand and said, you know, I've got a lot of stuff that I think would be of great benefit to people who are in this relation with us. So in today's conversation, where we are right now is what we'll talk about first. Then we'll talk about the ways that we can all survive this downturn, creative ways to market your business, and then addressing legal issues. What are the kinds of questions that are coming up in your business that you need answers to? And Susan will take that part of the hour, and then we'll talk about available resources and what you can do right now. Let's find out what's on your mind. Tell us how your business is doing. Tell us what ideas you have that can help others. We will have a playback of this event available. It'll be either later today, but more than likely tomorrow. Now, if you've not used Zoom before, or you're not sure exactly how it works, the Q&A button and the chat button are at the bottom of your screen. So if you're not looking at your screen right now, and oh, by the way, Zoom has a tool that lets us know that you don't have the webinar active as the front and center. I see a couple of you are already drifting off doing other things, and that's okay. But what I'd like for you to do right now is put something in the question box or the chat box and let us know where you're joining us from. What city are you joining us from? If you don't see that control panel, move your mouse down to the bottom of the screen, and that will reveal the Q&A box and the chat box. So go ahead and type something in there. Let me know what's on your mind. Bonnie is here from Orlando. Hey, Bonnie. It turns out Susan and I are both in the Orlando area, too. Claudia is from Eden, Maryland. Hey, Claudia. Good to have you with us as well. And anybody else who'd like to give us a sense of where you're from, that would be awesome. Bonnie is asking, how can she see the past webinars? I'll mention it now. I'll mention it later, too. We've got them posted on our YouTube channel. This is also being simulcast on Facebook Live. If you were watching on Facebook, if you spend any time there, most people do, It's facebook.com/my name, which is Ken Countess. But you'll be able to find it on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Countess group. And we'll also have it up on our website probably at the close of the day today. All right, so here's our goal. It's to facilitate the sharing of knowledge and provide support during this very uncertain time for all of us. Bottom line is we want to be helpful. I'm going to encourage you to take notes, but also ask questions. Douglas says he's here from New Jersey. Awesome. Great to see you there, Douglas, sorry. I have a special thank you to those of you who took time to promote this event to your network so more could benefit from the information. And to those of you who shared and or will share your expertise during this event. Many of you, when you registered to attend, were kind enough to let us know what was going on in your business, and we'll talk about some of that during the course of the session. And also, I want to thank you in advance for those of you who will continue to stay engaged with Susan and with me after this event. You know, the key on all of this stuff is that it's really important for all of us to continue to communicate. It's really important for all of us to continue to communicate with one another, and also with our customers and our clients. And we'll talk about that quite a bit during the course of the session. I've just posted another poll question. I hope you'll take a moment to answer. Also, a special thank you to those of you who offered comments during the registration. As I mentioned, I'll be referring to those. I'll be looking them up during the course of the session to make sure that we're able to answer the questions that you have. Okay, so let's get into it. Here's where we are today. I mean, the essence is, no surprise, this continues to be a very fluid situation. You can go to bed at night and wake up in the morning and things are a little bit different. Even during the course of the day, things are changing. It's very fluid. The good news, really good news for all of us, is that despite what's going on in the environment, meaning health-wise, and this thing spreading like crazy, governments and industry are stepping up. There are White House briefings just about every day. You probably recognize at least a couple of those faces there. And you can watch this stuff live on YouTube. This is a screenshot that shows it's on BBC, and it's on NBC, and it's on MSNBC, and it's on CBS. And the reality is that with everything going on, the impact on business really is just getting started. And I know a lot of us are already hurting, right? Our businesses are suffering, they're slowing down. We're going to address those things during the course of this event. We all know that shelter in place is becoming more and more common. Just last night, we had more shelter in place orders occurring. If you are paying attention at all to the international news, Angela Merkel in Germany has now mandated that a group can be no more than 2 people. So where in most of the U.S., we're limited to having 10 people on one place at one time. In Germany, now it's down to 2. So, you know, things are changing. They continue to change. There are lots of resources. I'll share a few of them with you during the course of the hour. If you haven't been to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce website, they have a COVID-19 business preparedness checklist. I think it's a good resource for you to check out, U.S. Chamber of Commerce. That gives you some thoughts and ideas and mandates on the things that we need to do. On the good news side, I mentioned that industries are stepping up. Facebook last week announced that they had a $100 million program for small businesses that are impacted by the coronavirus. So that's $100 million spread around the globe. They're expecting 30,000 businesses to take part. which if you do the math, it says that there won't be a ton of money to go around. I'll talk about other sources that may be viable for you as well. And by the way, last Friday, I had a special guest. That was Paul Bosley. And Paul and I will be doing another webinar on Friday to help navigate through different funding options that are available. All right, so what can we do today? Let's talk about specific ways to survive the downturn. Your facilitators for this session are me, Ken Countess. Hey, I'm live. I've got over 40 years helping businesses with strategic and tactical marketing and communications, including targeted marketing, lead gen, brand awareness. Marketing automation is something we've been doing now for several years. Corporate communications and PR, and specifically crisis communications. I spent 20 years at Motorola. I spent time at Marriott and CVS, and a good part of that time was spent helping these huge companies navigate through things like environmental issues, disaster relief, workplace issues, credit card fraud, drug testing, and many, many other things. So I mentioned these companies. The Countess Group is a company I own. We've been in business. We're in our 20th year now. And we partner with many big companies to help businesses, small and large, and nonprofits, by the way, if you're a nonprofit, helping to understand the tools that are available so that you can do a better job of marketing your business. We are a full-service marketing consultancy, and essentially, we are here to help you. Now, I want to introduce Susan Joseph. Susan, why don't you take it away?
Oh, absolutely. So this is Susan, and I will see if I can unmute myself as well as get my picture going up there. I don't know if I can do that. Let's see if I can switch it back here.
Well,
I'm going there. Okay. Can't seem to do the photo. That's okay. So I'm Susan Joseph, and asked you to start my video again. Okay.
There we go.
This is Susan Joseph. I'm so glad to have been invited to share some information with all of you. My background was first medical, and my first career, 35 years as a physical therapist, 25 years of that time also teaching Pilates as an instructor. And I'm married with 3 grown children. I have lived in the Orlando market for over 30 years. And I'm originally from New York. My background with Legal Shield and what I'm going to be speaking about today is 10 years. I have actually been a representative of Legal Shield for 10 years. I'm an executive director with the company. I specialize in small business and have been given awards for the last several years as in the top 10 within Legal Shield as far as business knowledge for small business owners. So I'm looking to share some information with everyone today, just by way of educating you as to what kind of resources are available to help people right now, because we really care and we know that people are out there questioning. Back to you, Ken.
Okay. So we'll turn me back on. Susan, we'll shut your mic off so you can do what you need to do over there. So this next section is going to be talking about marketing and the kinds of things that are going on for businesses all over. While we're going through this session, what I want to do is ask you to answer this new poll. Let us know how you've been affected by the COVID outbreak. And by the way, I'll share the results. You can offer up as many answers to the questions as you like. I'll leave this up here for a few minutes. But, you know, it's important for everyone here to participate and let us know what's going on. You know, I'm a marketing guy. I have been all my career. And here's one thing I know for sure. It's that most people struggle with marketing. So why is that? Well, sometimes it's because they don't find they have the time. Sometimes they're just, out there selling, and not marketing. So, sometimes they're just not, they don't feel they're in the role of a marketing individual. The fact is that no matter what you do, no matter where you work, you're a marketer. Part of your job, directly or indirectly, is to make sure people know about your business or your nonprofit or your practice. I know there are lots of people in different kinds of industries with us today. But what I found in 40 years of dealing with people in business is that very simply, they're afraid that they just won't get it right. They're afraid to dip their toe in the water and get the word out about their business. So what do? They do nothing, or they do next to nothing. It's just a common refrain. And my guess is that today, given that so many of us are struggling to make sure we keep the ship upright and keep business coming in, we really need to up our game. I mean, we really all do need to do that, because you need marketing to do lots of things, but particularly right now, you need to let people know that you're still out there. Now, depending on what kind of a business you're in, you may be feeling that people are very dependent on you. They know you're there. That may well be true, but here's the fact. Everybody is so distracted dealing with family issues, their job issues, running the business. I mean, there's any number of things. For people who are in a situation right now where the kids are at home because they've closed all the schools and they're figuring out how to do homeschooling, and they're trying to run their business, and they're trying to attend to other family members. It's like that old thing on the Ed Sullivan Show from 100,000 years ago of somebody, spinning a bunch of plates and hoping that one of those plates doesn't fall. You do need to let people know that you are still out there, because you know what's happening? People in an immediate need for something are going to do a Google search. If they don't know that you're out there, they're going to look to see who is. So let people know you're out there. But here's a real good business reason for you to be marketing all the time. It's that gaining a new customer can be 5 to 25 times more expensive than retaining an existing one. By the way, this is from Harvard Business Review. So what does that mean? It means a lot of people are taking to doing a lot of advertising, trying to find that brand new customer. But if you go back into your business records, hopefully you've got stuff online, maybe you have them in a file cabinet somewhere that's nearby. Go back and reach out to the people who already know you and tell them you're still there. They may say, and this happens to me all the time, I'm sure to Susan too. It's like, oh my gosh, I forgot that you offer this service that I need and I need it right now. Or maybe they decide to buy something new that they didn't know you had before. So this is a good opportunity for you to, I'm going to pick up my smartphone here, to pick up the phone and call your clients. And you'll be surprised what kind of a result that gives you. The other thing is that a 5% increase in retention of an existing client or client base will increase your profits by almost double. So what can you do right now? Oh, by the way, let me share this poll with you. Let me share the results. Most people say it's not only just those things, there's something else going on as well. By the way, feel free to use the chat box and the Q&A box to let me know what those other things are. All right, but you can see that people have had to, oh, here we go, that people have had to lay people off already. Most people are in a situation where there's lots of stuff going on. There isn't just one thing. People are, a third of those on this webinar um, can't afford to pay their business expenses. So, you know, this is all serious stuff, isn't it? So what do you need to do? First thing I'm going to tell you to do is target your marketing. You don't have to open up your pocketbook and spend a lot of money marketing your business or your practice or your nonprofit. The one thing I do not want you to do is this. Now, you know what this is? This is called spray and pray. What a lot of business owners do, that are people that are not familiar with how to market their business and are not familiar with at all with advertising, is they'll get on a place like Facebook, for instance, or Google Ads, AdWords, or some other advertising tool, and they'll tell the rep, or they'll do it online themselves and just say, I'm going to reach as many people as I can. Don't do that. Contact me and I'll show you how to do it the right way. But the essence of it is you want to zero in on the target that you're trying to reach. Understand who your avatar is. Who is it that is most likely to do business with you? Look at your existing client base and do some homework and figure out who those people are. What's the avatar? What does the average person who does business with you most often look like? You can do that by gender. You can do that by age group. You can do it by geography. I'll show you an example in a few minutes of how that works out. Now, I totally understand that many people are in a situation where they're so accustomed to doing things on site. But here's a question for you. Have you ever thought of this? Can you go virtual? It's not necessary in many cases to have a brick and mortar location. I've been a consultant now for nearly 20 years, and for the last 10, I have been working virtually. I don't have office space. I don't need it. If I needed to meet someone, we would find a place that was mutually convenient. Most everything I do looks just like this. We're online. We're doing video calls. We're on the phone. So, attention, life coaches, fitness clubs, restaurants, salons, physical therapists, personal trainers, attorneys, accountants, teachers, medical professionals. If I haven't put your job or career in there, put it in there now. Attention to all of you. This is an example that this is someone who attended a webinar that I did 1 week ago today. Her name is Deirdre, and she lives in New York City. And Deirdre, after last Monday's session, contacted me. And she said, Ken, I have no idea what to do. My office is closed. This is her office. Deirdre's office is in Midtown Manhattan. If you know New York City, she's right near the Empire State Building. And she's a physical therapist. And she has a pretty nice looking office that looks out at Manhattan. And she said, I live in Astoria, Queens. I'm not allowed to go into my building. What do I do? And so we brainstormed a bit. And I said, well, tell me what's on your mind. And what she said to me was, I have been thinking about doing some online coaching, online therapies. She does a lot of massage, right? So a lot of it's hands-on. But she also knows that if she coaches people on how to position themselves better ergonomically, that she could probably coach them with an ergonomic approach to helping them do business, all right? So what she did, we talked about ways that she could communicate to her existing clients. Now remember, this is not about buying new ads. This is about using your existing skill set and tapping into your existing market. And so here's what she did. She wrote an email out, and I'm going to look at, I have, by the way, 3 screens here. I'm going to look at another screen and read to you what this email says. It says, "Dear patients, friends, and colleagues, I hope you're all well in body and spirit. In response to the current situation, I will not be seeing patients at my office at this time. I am available for consults by phone and email and hope you will stay in touch. I'm offering a new service, an online ergonomic consultation. It's a simple virtual session done through photos and emails, and it goes on from there." And guess what? She sent the email out and the phone began to ring. So now Deirdre is sitting at home, essentially, right? Shelter in place in New York City. Her office is miles away. But because she sent out this email with a new idea of how to approach her business and how to help her customers and clients, business goes on. Probably not at the same pace, but if she is successful in serving her clients and patients, guess what? She'll get referrals out of that, and that will help to build her new business online. Now, I mentioned, and Sue mentioned, that we're in the Orlando area. I know Bonnie is in Orlando too. I think there are some other folks. I see Deborah is here with us, and I know Deborah is in Orlando also. I learned yesterday about a workout center, personal fitness place called Fitness Partners near to where I live. And this is their Facebook page. And Fitness Partners, they've been around for a long time, but gyms are shut down here. So what they've done is they've taken to Facebook to offer their clients some virtual ways of doing things. So here's an example of that. They've really ramped up their Facebook presence. So this is a post that it's a screenshot from earlier this morning. It says, "We hope you enjoyed Yoga Live this morning. Our next Fitness Partners live class will be boot camp on Monday, today, at 5 p.m. And they had posted that 18 hours before and already had 9 likes and loves and 2 shares. Here's another one, same company, same organization, Fitness Partners, that 15 hours ago posted this. "Hey, we practiced social distancing as we rode our bikes today." This was yesterday, AKA no drafting. It was a beautiful day to ride, lots of families on the trail, including our fitness family. 20 likes and loves, 2 shares there. And then earlier today, Fitness Partners Live, join us live daily for a workout or anytime as the workouts will stay on our live page. We hope to stay connected with you and so on. I started doing live free trainings this morning on all things marketing. If you're interested, I'll send you the link. It's free. It's every day. You don't have to sign up in advance. You show up when you want. The point of doing this is I have been doing live workshops for 10 years. Can't do them now, right? Everybody is at stay at home. So this is as a service. And what it helps you do if you decide to start doing this is not only build loyalty with your clients and prospects, but build a tribe. And because we're all stuck at home or near home, if we can go to the office, if we're able to do that, if you share that you have attended some event and you got a lot out of it, you might share it with people you know, and that will build the network and build the credibility of the people that you already love doing business with. Speaking of fitness places, this was on YouTube this morning. Closed because of coronavirus, gyms and studios offer virtual workouts. I'm going to give you an example, a live video of what that might look like. This is something you can do for your business. And by the way, there are very affordable do-it-yourself advertising options. If you say, you know what, my tribe, my client base is not big enough for me to be able to keep my business running the way I'd like it to be. There are ways to do it on the cheap. I put this ad up a few days ago on Facebook. You can see the ad. It's in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. And it was marketing last Monday night's event. And you can see I spent $1 doing this. And look at all the people it reached. That's in the lower right-hand corner. Look at that. And most of the people were, almost everybody was age 35 and up, but a pretty significant number of people were age 55 and up, and it skewed primarily women, which is really an interesting tactic because most of the people who follow me on my business page are male. It skews 2/3 male to female. This was the exact opposite. So this may be a good way for you to test advertising on the cheap and get a broader reach so you can reach more people who might be interested in your service. What else can you do? For the people that are already clients or customers or have been, call them up, offer them some additional value. Give them an incentive to do business with you during this time. Provide them with valuable information. If you're in health and wellness, maybe it's dietary things that they can do. Maybe it's exercise. There's lots of things. Maybe if you can do business online, you can offer an additional service at no charge. You can answer emails and texts and social media questions. Ask them for referrals. Did you know that 89% of customers say they would actually refer someone if they were only asked? And only 10% of people actually do ask. So I'm encouraging you to get out there and stand out and understand and help your clients understand your value proposition. What is that? That answers the question of why do business with you? What do you offer that others don't? How do you stand out? What separates you from your competition? I'm encouraging you to be where your clients and prospects are too. And we all know that they're everywhere, right? Especially now. They're online because there's nothing else to do. So they're checking their smartphone. They're on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Pinterest and checking their email. And oh, by the way, what is the #1 cell phone app? Well, it's email. Everybody's checking email all the time. So you need to be in their inbox. 99% of people check their email every day. Remember what I told you about Deirdre? She resorted to email as a way to get the word out to lots of people at a single time. It's a lot easier to send an email out than to try to make hundreds of phone calls, isn't it? And if you've already started using email, congratulations to you. Maybe it's time to step up your game. This is a screenshot of some automation that we built for a client to help them not only be able to send out one email, but then have this software automatically follow up with the people that did open the email, didn't open the email, clicked on a link, didn't click on a link. It's pretty easy to do if you know what to do. If you need help, call me. If you're not doing anything at all, start somewhere. Start here. You can start, if you're not using email at all, I'm encouraging you to use this special link. Take a picture of it if you want to with your phone. By the way, I will send a copy of this presentation, mine and Susan's, to anybody who wants one. But if you're not using email, start using it. It's free, no credit card. Use that link that you see on the screen. It's a shortened URL that ties you to us. It's bit.ly/completely free trial. And if you're already using email, maybe it's time to step up your game with marketing automation. Once again, start with a free trial. There's no credit card needed. Use bit.ly/trykeep. And notice Keep is spelled K-E-A-P. That's the name of the company. The bottom line is this. Focus on your existing customers and clients first. Let them know you're out there. Help them navigate through this situation. And don't worry about being perfect. Done is better than perfect. There's always ways to improve, of course, but get started. Generate leads, and then cultivate a relationship with those leads right away, because if you don't, the leads go cold. Lead nurturing is really important. When you nurture your leads, you get more sales-ready leads at a lower cost. So how do you nurture those leads? Well, the usual suspects work really well. Things like email and Facebook and so on. I encourage you to meet virtually. If you're not sure what to do yet, these are some of the tools you can use to meet people face-to-face virtually. We're using Zoom. And this is a look at my office. This is where I am right now. And that yellow arrow is pointing to the camera that I'm using right now. All right? You don't have to be very sophisticated. If you want to teach virtually, you can do that too. Just set up your smartphone and take some short videos and let people know that you're serious about helping them. Because you know what? That's paying it forward. They'll thank you. Take action. Take action. And next, let's jump into the legal stuff that you need to know as a business owner. Susan is ready to go. And Susan, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Good afternoon, and thank you again for having me. I wanted to share some information mostly about how we can be a resource. Right now, I know that all of you are looking at so many different things if you're business owners, and there are so many questions and so many concerns, and where do you find the answers? So during these particular times, there's really a lot of questions that are being asked. And recently I spoke with one of our attorneys last week, and he said he's getting so many questions. I'm just going to print up here a sampling of some of the questions that he's already been asked. And then I'm going to share with you some of the questions that I'm hearing. I had an employee from one of my employee benefits groups call me today to find out how she can get her question answered because she was told not to come to work. Oh, great. Now my computer is going to die. Hold on. I'm going to have to plug this in. So technology can be helping us, but of course we have to be plugged in. And that's really what this is about too. Are you plugged into the resources that can help you benefit your business? You know, these questions that people are asking, they're on everyone's mind. What is it that I do? What do I need to know about how to handle things with my employees? So Ken, if you want to leave up one of the lists, we can kind of go through a few of those questions. You know, right now, I don't even know if everyone knows, but there's been a new obligation that you might not even be aware of. The new Families First legislation that went into effect last week. It's regarding how you pay time off. And that's a big question. It's actually why this employee called me. She was told to stay home because she fessed up to her employer that her father was diagnosed with COVID-19. And she was told, okay, don't come anywhere near us. Stay home. And by the way, you're staying home without any pay. She said, I can work from home. She goes, no, we're not letting you work from home. Why couldn't she work from home if she had the availability to do that? So there are so many questions people have as an employee and as an employer. What are my obligations to my contractors? What are my obligations to my vendors? How do I handle all the costs that might be out there if I ask my employees to work from home? What if they're incurring costs? Whose responsibility are all of these extra things going to belong to? You know, can you ask as an employer health questions? Can you disclose or share that information with anyone else? You know, are you supposed to encourage your employees if you're asking them not to come to work to apply for unemployment? Are you eligible for unemployment compensation? These are questions, once again, that have to be plaguing everyone's mind. I know my husband's a small business owner and he's asking these questions. So what do we do? Where do you find the answers to these? It's not on the news. It's not in your marketing slides. We're making things available for people. We are a 48-year-old company. We already protect 4.7 million people by giving them access to their law firms all across the country. And we only deal with law firms that are rated by the Bar Association as the top 20% of law firms. So you'll never be getting anyone who's not qualified beyond. On average, our attorneys have many, many years experience. I believe the number is 22 years experience. And that is a good number because you're not getting someone who's behind the bars, didn't pass the bar, is at the bar, is under the bar. You're getting people who are highly qualified. If you keep tapping it, it'll come up. It's kind of a tap slide there, sorry. We do all of this through an app on your phone. And that app gives you access to your law firm wherever you are, 24/7 access. That's a huge bonus. We are a disruptor in the digital world, bringing people access. So we've had no disruption in service. Why? Because our clients can tap their app and get a hold of their law firm to ask them any question that they want. And that law firm is available to them 24/7. For business owners, we've got multiple packages. So whether you've got 10 or less employees, whether you've got 100 or less employees, we've got packages that we can find out and work with you as to what would be the best option for you. And none of our packages will cost an employer. They start at a very low price in the $30 range, go up to $150. So no availability for someone to say, this is too much, I can't afford this. And if you're a sole provider, we've got another option for you. It starts with our basic personal legal plan, which covers you and your family for one price, the whole household, getting all of these different services, an entire suite of services, allowing people to get access to get their healthcare proxies, make sure their estate planning is up to date, and many other things, unlimited advice on personal issues. But if you add on to that, if you're a sole provider and you have no employees at all, unless they're family, and that's okay, you can add on our home business supplement for a very small price, and for less than $1 a day, your entire family and your business can be available to have coverage and access to a law firm that's top rated for you to call, and we're here 24/7. How do we make this happen? We've created a program with standards that are so important to people. I know if I asked any of you and you could answer me, how often have you called a lawyer and then waited and waited and waited to get a result, to get an answer back while you're stewing about your services, about your question? And how many people have put off calling an attorney because they were worried about what that high hourly cost was going to be? Well, for that one package price, you've got access to call. And we've got standards in place with each of our law firms. They're required to call you back within 4 business hours. They're required to review documents within 3 business days. So you've got a time frame. There's many more levels of standards that we've put in place. But as a consumer, you'll have that consumer rights form that we send out to every one of our customers, letting you know what you can expect of us. And these standards are still in place today. So we want to make sure that if you have any interest whatsoever, if you'd like to learn more about how you can have access, get some questions answered, I'm here. We have had no disruption in service. For emergencies, we're open 24/7, but for daily business, we're open from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening, every day of the week, Monday through Friday. And if I can be a resource to help anyone get a question answered, please feel free to reach out. My contact information is on the screen. And if anyone has questions, happy to answer them. Thank you, Ken, for having me.
Hey, that was really great information, Sue. Thank you very much. And for those of you who have some questions, By the way, I just put another poll up there. Let us know how you found out about today's event. If you joined us late or you don't remember where the Q&A button is, or if this is your first time using Zoom, that's what we're using for this virtual event, which by the way, normally Susan and I would be doing something like this in an on-site setting, a classroom, a restaurant, or what have you. But all of you have joined us virtually. And as I mentioned, we're using Zoom. I've probably gotten half a dozen calls in the last 3 days on, gee, how do you do the Zoom thing? So if you need help with that, give me a call and we'll work something out. The Q&A button and the chat button, move your mouse down to the bottom of the screen. You've probably been very attentive to this session. Susan had some really amazing information. Every time I see Sue, I learn something, and hopefully all of you learn something either about marketing or the legal issues by attending. So go ahead and drop in some questions. I'll go ahead and read through the ones that have already come in. But, you know, our message, the message from both of us is take action. Take action. This is a time to do it. And by the way, you'll be ahead of the curve, because a lot of people haven't even gone as far as figuring out, doing some research on what to do. For some people, they're just getting closed down now. So you've got to jump on things. If you're sitting in an office and, you know, doing Google searches isn't going to do it for you necessarily, talk to the experts. Susan and I have been at what we're doing, each of us, for quite a long time. We can save you the heartache of trying to figure out what the best solutions are. Let us help you. We've got some additional resources that we've pulled together for you to look at during this session. Number one is if you go to the SBA website, that's the Small Business Administration, it's sba.gov. You can find a lot of information on the coronavirus and what you need to do for your business. The SBA has put together some very significant disaster assistance in response to the coronavirus. Also on the SBA website, this is one of the home pages. In that menu, what I'm showing you is a drop-down box which shows you how you can navigate through. If you haven't been to sba.gov before, check it out while we all have the time to do these things. There are marketing plans, how to get funding, how to organize your business, lots of resources. Here's the marketing piece on that. There are templates, action plans, all kinds of things you could do. Here are some other organizations that can help you out. SCORE is one of them. I teach SCORE classes, probably 24 of them a year. I'm affiliated with 3 SCORE chapters in Florida, about to be 4. SCORE is a national association that has 11,000 volunteers, people that have been there and done that when it comes to business. Go to score.org and you'll find online resources, templates, things that are already done for you. But you can also sign up to get a free consult, free counseling. Everything is free. It's funded by the federal government. Also, the SBDC, Small Business Development Center. Another free service. You get no cost free counseling when you go to SBDC. And then, of course, make sure you check out what's going on the health side. That's CDC, right? Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Hey, bottom line.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go for it.
I'd be happy to send anyone our phone app. It actually has a free service on there. Anyone can ask a quick question and get an answer without being a member of our service. And I wanted to make sure to highlight that for anyone. So I'd be happy to send that resource of just the link for our phone app over to anyone if they'd like.
Perfect. Thank you. So time to jump into the Q&A session. And once again, that's where you'll find the Q&A box, whether you're on a desktop or on a smartphone, a tablet. Go ahead and drop your questions in. I'll go take a look at what's in here now. And, you know, our message for everyone is, look, today's uncertain times don't have to be uncertain times. Take action, right? You've done a great step by joining us today. Let us help you. And I'll leave our contact information up there. You can reach me or Susan. We're both in the Orlando area by phone. Go to, you know, shoot an email to us. You saw Susan's URL. I'll show mine in a few moments. All right, so let's see. Amani, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says, my buyer has been furloughed for 2 weeks and we were supposed to close on Friday. Seller already signed. So that might be something, if there's a legal issue there, that might be something to connect with Susan about. Kale, I'm hoping, boy, I hope I'm pronouncing these names correctly. My apologies if I'm not. Asked for the presentation to be sent to their email address. Happy to do that. Pam says, please send the phone app for questions. Susan, do you want to respond to that? I know you answered the question, but just let them know again how to access the phone app.
Yeah, I'd be happy to get that out to anyone. It is linked specifically to me so that if you have more questions, you can come back to me in the future. And I'm happy to put that out to anyone. If they would get their information to you, I can send it to them.
Great. Deborah asks, should employees apply for unemployment compensation at this time?
Did answer her back. That is a legal question. I am actually just with the marketing department, as you are, Ken. But that is a question she can ask, and she can ask through the phone app. She may or may not get a full answer that she needs there. It may be that she needs to actually speak with an attorney, and I can certainly give her direction on how to connect that way.
Great. Okay. I think we've exhausted the chat and the Q&A. So once again, my name's Ken Countess. I'm Managing Director of the Countess Group. If you need help with anything related to marketing, please reach out to me. Our next event, Friday, March 27th at 4 p.m. Friday, March 27th at 4, we'll be going through more marketing tools, tactics, and strategies. And Paul Bosley will be back with me. Paul is our local expert on how to get funding for your business. As I mentioned earlier, this is a moving target. Things are very fluid with funding. When I woke up this morning, the government's plan to release $1 trillion in aid was still making its way through Congress, but the SBA and Paul at his company have options for you. So if you're in a situation, if your business is in a situation where funding is an issue and you're looking for access to funds, Paul will talk about the strategies on how to keep your business afloat during this difficult time. So once again, Friday, March 27th at 4 Eastern, you can find a link to the to register for the event on our website. It's thecountessgroup.com. Just look under the seminars and webinars tab. So, so with that, I will say thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope that we got your questions answered. You'll probably think of more questions along the way. And if that's the case, please feel free to reach out to all of us. We're happy to answer those questions. Okay? So take care and bye for now.